Are we finally live? Hello, everybody. I am so sorry. I think that because my internet was late, I couldn't actually go live. So I had to call and pay the bill, and then I had to actually restart. I had to actually just undo the entire thing because it wasn't ever going to load, apparently. I've literally been here for over 20 minutes trying to get this to load. But hopefully the connection is okay now. Sorry, I'm just sharing this to group. And in case any of you do not know what groups I'm talking about, I have two groups on Facebook. We have a lot of new subscribers here lately. And so you guys might not know about the groups on Facebook. I have one group that is Amanda Brown's CPS Reform group, and that is for anyone, no matter what your situation is, as long as you support the idea that CPS needs to be reformed in our country, then you can join that group. And then the second group I have is the Life After Loss group, which is for any of you who have lost children. And it doesn't necessarily have to be because of CPS, although that is the main focus, but it can be loss of any kind involving a child. It could be a parental abduction or, cancer or anything that caused you to lose your children, because that's something a parent should never have to go through. That's not the way the cycle of life is supposed to work. You're supposed to get older, have children, and then you die, and then they have children, and then they die. It's like you're not supposed to see your children die or have to lose them, especially at such a young age, to CPS or any other means of kidnapping. So, I'm finally done reading all of the stuff on the law, the family law stuff, and the hotline is open for any of you guys as usual. If you want to share your experiences, so the hotline is open. That number is 336-444 2169. For any of you who want to call and discuss anything CPS related, whether it's a personal experience or just an opinion you have or observations you have made. So feel free to call and share your stories on there and experiences. But otherwise, tonight, I'm just going to do a quick update with in regards to the channel. It seems like there have been some new subscribers here lately, and I really appreciate that, as well as some new members to the groups on Facebook. And so I always welcome anyone into the community and expanding this community, because we do need more people becoming aware of this serious issue. But I was wanting to read some comments, I guess, or answer some questions from the comments. I've gotten a few here lately, so I will be on the phone. So you guys, that line is open, so you can call and interrupt me anytime. And I will take your call and we will discuss everything. I recently posted a video called Becoming the Warrior, healing the inner child, which I consider to be the first step to becoming the warrior. Um, one reason why one reason why I'm titling the series that I plan to do, or the process, becoming the warrior, is because I feel like that we need to lose the victim mentality that keeps us from ever healing, let alone actually becoming successful and progressing in life. I believe that no matter what the situation is, should try to use the experiences we have had, good or bad, to make us better people and to give us a purpose. And I've talked about that a lot on this channel. And so I was trying, the reason why I'm calling it Becoming a Warrior is because it's away from that victim mentality and mindset, and from a place of helplessness. And there's another word I was going to say, but I can't remember. But oh, and survivor, because I do call us CPS survivors, but I believe that we are more than just survivors. We are also thrivers. And, or at least that's what I'm hoping we will do. That's why I call it Becoming the Warrior, is because we're transitioning from victimhood and just barely surviving to actually thriving and prospering and having a better life. Um, and turning any situation that you're in around to the better. Plus, a warrior has a certain mentality, which is to keep fighting. Like, a warrior doesn't ever give up, no matter what challenges they're facing, or what they have went through, or what they're currently going through. No matter how hurt they are going to keep fighting until the end. And so that's what I believe for all of us. It's time for us to stop being quiet and just letting them walk all over us and walk all over other people, especially if we are not currently involved with CPS anymore. And mm, even more so for people who have already lost their children and know what that's like to go through. It's our responsibility to fight for those who have not lost yet, because they can't really speak for themselves in that situation. Because if they do, like with me, it will be used against them to, as a reason to take their children. You know, if you are battling the system and you are bucking against the system, then it will turn them even more against you. But for those of us who we don't have anything to lose, we need to become the warriors who go to bat our country. Saying my connection is unstable. I hope you guys can still hear me. I'm not sure what's going on with the internet tonight, because I just paid the bill, so it should be fine. But maybe the internet still speed hasn't picked back up, because I only have two things on the internet right now, so it shouldn't be doing this. But anyway, I'm going to get back over here and read some of the comments. Let's see, I'm actually going to clear all the notifications first. I'm not exactly sure how far back I want to go on this. So maybe now either. But, you know, obviously they have it here publicly, so, you know, but I'm just going to read a few comments. Somebody said that my hair has gotten very long. Someone said that some statistics to make you feel better and back you up. 80% of CPS reports are false. CPS caseworkers have can have criminal records, and usually do, because they do not do nationwide criminal background checks using fingerprints. Suffice it to say that many pedophiles and sexual predators are drawn to these jobs. Anyway, you handle yourself very well and should be proud. Praying for you. Um, so, but yeah, and actually, I would even venture to say it's probably more than that. I would say it's probably at least 90%, if not 80, or if not 95% of the time, that it's just a completely fabricated claim, and that there's no reason to even investigate. And that out of that 5 or 10% where maybe they should investigate, or where maybe there could have been something that called them to investigate, I would say it's probably only 5% of that 5 to 10% where there actually is any cause for them to step in and remove the children at all. So you're talking about, like, 0.5%, point, 1% or something like that. It's like I don't have a calculator, so these are just rough estimates. But the point is that it's a very, very, very small amount. Like, probably out of every 1,000 calls they get, there's only one child that actually needs help. If the number is even that high nowadays, like, most of the time, most of the people who are actually abusing their children never get CPS called on them. And a lot of times it's even like people who are friends with CPS workers. So keep that in mind too. Somebody said there's a special place in hell for CPS workers. I agree. And then the newest comment we have is, not a surprise to anyone that have dealt with them, heartless people. Hashtag expose CPS, fight for the children. So yes, that's actually, I'm actually thinking about using that tag. I didn't know that that was a thing until tonight. The tag hashtag expose CPS. So I'm probably gonna do that on, go back to my videos and try to add that on there on some of them. Oh yeah, also, hold on. I'm going to go ahead in the chat. If you guys want to see the groups, there's not a whole lot going on. I don't know why people aren't posting more. I would really like it if people would start sharing more. And I too would like to become more involved. I'm starting to actually get a schedule now, to where I'm working hard on a lot of different projects right now outside of the channel. But I'm starting to get it together where I don't get overwhelmed, and I also don't get distracted, because part of the issue that I've been having is just getting distracted so much, where I'll be doing something and then I'll get distracted and try to do something else, and then I'll get distracted and try to do something else, and before you know it, it's like all I've done is make a bigger mess. And I'm just, or another thing I was telling a friend of mine last night is that I will go start doing one thing, like I'll have 10 things on my mind, and I'll end up just pacing back and forth, because my mind will be going this, and instead of prioritizing it and saying, okay, we're going to do this now, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. It's like my mind's trying to go do all of it at the same time. So then I'm like, I end up pacing back and forth going, wait, what am I doing? What am I doing? But I have noticed that using technology and using the phone less has really helped. And one of my technologies mostly like social media or watching videos because I love watching videos on YouTube. But I haven't really been watching a lot of educational videos in the last few months. It's mostly just been stuff that passes the time and stuff that I really could have spent my time, or my time would have been better spent doing something else. And so I'm trying to cut out all those time eaters, as I'm calling them. And one another thing I think that's been helping is that I've been setting, like, I can't go to sleep in the dark, but I'm trying to set it where my light that helps me to fall asleep goes off after a certain time. And so then it ends up getting very dark in my room after I'm asleep. And I've noticed it seems to be helping me sleep better. Like, I've been waking up super early and everything, and I've noticed I'm not having to sleep like 8, 9, 10 hours a night and still feel bad, that I'm actually sleeping probably 6.5 to 8 hours. And I seem to feel a lot better on doing that. And another thing that's helped me too is by putting my phones out of my room. Like, I turn them on silent too, but I put them on charge in the main area in the kitchen and try to improve myself. But it might help you guys too if you have similar problems to me. But I've been putting the phones in the kitchen and keeping them on charge in there. So then that way, when I get up, I don't just roll over and start going through my phone, checking my notifications and stuff. And then next thing you know, an hour or two has went by and I haven't even got out of the bed yet. So then I have to get up out of the bed to even go check my phone. And usually by the time I'm up, it's like I realize that I need to take care of some things, like let the dogs out, fix breakfast. And so by the time I make it to the kitchen, I'm already starting to work on getting those things done. And then by the time I actually get those things done to where I can sit and look at my phone, I'm already wide awake and I'm like, can go through it very quickly and then tell myself, okay, I'm going to go to my room now and get some work done. Like, I'm not allowing myself to have my phones in my room during the day while I'm trying to get work done. Enjoy it, bro. Hey, Amanda Brown. Well, hello. Welcome to the channel. Um, so that's something that's really helping me is, even though my room is kind of like my apartment, it's also a workspace and it's also a sleeping space. And so I need to try to reduce the amount of wasteful technological use in my room so that it actually serves its purpose, so I can rewire my brain so that, like, when I come in here, I'm in front of the computer, working on the films that I'm working on, doing schoolwork, or setting up stuff for the channel for you guys, or whatever. And I actually get my work done instead of every couple of minutes, oh, I got to reply to a message. It's like, nope, my phone is in the other room and I'm sitting in here for the next hour to 2 hours working. I'm not going to be going in there checking my phone. Like, I might take a break if I'm going to be working on schoolwork. If I get to a stopping point or I need to get something to drink, I'll get up and I might go check it for like, 5 or 10 minutes and then I come back. So that's really been helping me, is just claiming my space, trying to take care of it and actually care for my room. That's very important too. Um, let's see. Is that your actual number? Yes, it is the number for the hotline. I actually got that number. It's a text now number, so it's a Wi-Fi number. So if I don't have Wi-Fi on the phone at the time, it's not going to work, but it is connected right now. Um, so yes, so just so you guys know, that number is working right now. It is a Wi-Fi number. I know it looks weird, but that's actually one reason why I picked it, is because I'm like, oh, 444, like that's easy to remember. So plus I like number 444 because um, I like repeating numbers for one because of being a spiritual person and everything. And also 444 means that it could either mean like your angels are warning you about something or that your angels are guiding you on the right path, like they're telling you that you are on the right path. And so that's kind of like what I liked about it. It's like the angel number or whatever. And so when I seen it, I was like, yes, that's the one that I want. How old are you? I am 29. I just turned 29 on November 8th. And so, yes, I will be 30 in less than a year. Um, and I feel like I am starting back from zero. But um, I feel like I have, thank you. Happy belated birthday. Thank you so much. It was a really good birthday. It was probably actually the best birthday that I've ever had. I spent it with my mom and with my boyfriend Alex, who is he lives in the UK, um, and so he was here for my birthday. Um, so yeah, it went really well. I was very happy with it. I kind of for him and organizing everybody to do a lot of things for Halloween, and I did a lot of traveling at the time too. And it was just a very extremely busy 2 weeks, and I'm just starting to recover and get my energy back from that. Yes, it's a long distance relationship. I haven't been in a long distance relationship in a while, but I think I actually prefer it to a regular relationship, especially living with somebody right now, because I don't feel like that would be the healthiest for me because I'm also recovering from codependency where I have been in some very toxic relationships. I'm attracted to broken people. And I guess to me, I think that my mentality behind that was if I can fix the brokenness in them, it'll fix the brokenness in me. And I'm old enough now to and been through enough the hard way to realize that I cannot fix other people. That is their responsibility. My responsibility is to fix myself. Um, and so, but I do believe that I can be a guide to other people. Too many women think like that. Yeah. There's a lot of men that do that too. There's a lot of men like to fix things and stuff, but I don't know. Like, there's something about like t- uh, 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 I think Jordan Peterson has even talked about this with the woman like taming the wild man or the monster. You know that if you look what women are interested in when they're looking at their fantasy novels and stuff, it's like pirates, vampires, and werewolves, and all this, wild, crazy stuff. And it's the idea of taming the beast, like that's what women are attracted to. Um, it's one thing to help someone with potential who are trying to make themselves better. It's another thing to date a train wreck to fix them. Yeah. Well, see, the problem that I have too is because I can actually see people's potential. And so a lot of times I think that, like maybe they just need a nudge in the right direction because a lot of the people I've been with, it's like they never really had anyone like me and they never had anyone that actually tried to invest in them and tried to help them or cared. And but it's like, they finally did have someone like that and then they took it for granted. And then after, of course, the relationship ended, I've had several people come back, you know, either shortly after or years after and be like, what was I thinking that you were so good to me and everything and I treated you so horrible. And it's like, Yeah, well, I hope it taught you something. Good luck. No, I don't want you back. I'm a lot happier now. But it sounds really weird because we think of people as being selfish, but they're actually not selfish. They are impulsive and self destructive. Because if they actually cared about themselves, then they wouldn't conduct themselves the way that they do, and they wouldn't treat other people the way that they do. Um, and so I'm trying I've had to learn that myself. Like I've always been taught by society that to care about myself is selfish, or to put myself first is selfish. And it's taken me a long time to overcome that, even with learning that, where I'm like logically research these things, and I studied psychology and listened to a lot of wise people about the subject. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really make sense. Like, I have to take care of me in order to be able to take care of other people. Because if I just give and give and give, I'm going to burn myself out. And then who's going to take care of them? And so now I'm at the point where I have to take care of me first. I am my number one priority right now. And for most of the part, I don't feel like a romantic relationship would be able to work with that. Other than that, this is a long distance relationship, and we became friends. I'm sorry, my dog, or a neighbor's dog that got loose a couple roads down, that's been coming in and out of our yard today. So I think that's what they're barking at. I just try to speak a little bit louder. I hope that helps. But what was I saying? Yes. So the long distance relationship, for one, I feel like it is keeping me safe from getting involved with a person physically, because once you get involved with somebody like that, especially for women, but it works both ways too, then you are kind of bonded with them, and it makes it very hard to not be tricked by your brain into thinking that you are in love with this person, even though you're not. It's like all it is just chemicals that happened because it is an exciting thing, and your brain is saying, hey, let's make babies or whatever. Your brain basically puts you on drugs. That's all that being in love is, from what I can tell. There may be some instances where it's not. What do you do when the girl you like starts dating your twin brother? Well, have you told her that you like her? Does she know that you like her? Of course, one can also say if she's dating your twin, then you might have a chance. I don't, me personally, I think it's a bad idea to mix. 'Cause I've had a lot of bad experiences with that. I've never believed in that. Yeah, I did tell her, and she thought I was my brother. Oh, I actually had a similar situation happen to me, but it was with cousins over the phone when I was a teenager. I used to I used to date people on the phone, well, date people on the phone. And it was like several weeks before I realized, wait a minute, these are different people. Um, oof. I guess, does your brother like her too? Have you guys actually talked about this? Does he know you like her? I know some family members, they simply do not care. My ex's family was quite like that. I mean, even his sisters, you know, it's like he even had to worry about his sisters with me, basically. And there was like no loyalty there at all. I mean, we are identical twins, but I am more buff. Well, I think that's something you should really talk to your brother about. If there's maybe if he's okay with it, then maybe actually all of you sit down together and talk about it. I know that's like the hardest thing to do is to actually talk about something, I guess you could say, embarrassing like that. I've been in some situations where something I had did or said was misunderstood, and then I just ended up being quiet and like just going along and letting everything go on because I didn't want the embarrassment of having to then say, well, no, I didn't mean that. I already slept with her, but he doesn't know. Hmm. Well, have you told her that you're the one that she slept with? Because that would make a difference. I don't know. To me, being in sibling relationships like that, I had to deal with a similar situation, and basically, yeah, it did not end well. Well, really, in that situation, since it's already went that far, you owe it to your brother to tell him about it because that's kind of like his choice. Like I talked to somebody about this at one point, um, in like a friends with benefits situation that, you know, we were like, we're open, we can see and date other people, but that if you sleep with somebody, I need you to tell me because I should be able to have the, you know, allowance of the decision on if I want to continue sleeping with you or not. Um, and so I think that I hope that that helps. I know that it's probably not what you want to hear. I'm 32, by the way. Well, you're not much older than me, but yeah, I actually know a couple of guys that are identical twins, and if they, like did their hair and facial hair and everything and dressed exactly the same, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. Um, Oddly enough, though, they actually look just like one of my exes. So I'm like, sure, you weren't triplets at one time? Was one of your siblings adopted out? Because I swear my ex looks just like you. um, but yeah, I think that me being in a long distance relationship right now is for the best because I'm going through, I guess it's a part of getting older, and my hormones and everything are changing and my emotions are changing. Like I'm recovering from being dissociative where it's easy for me to shut down my emotions, but the problem is I got so good at it that I actually shut down the physical sensations in my body as well. um, and having nerve damage in some areas on top of that, was not helpful. That made it a lot easier to dissociate physically. It's actually called uh, depersonalization derealization, or DPDR. In case you guys want to look that up, that's. Oh, I have cap locks on. I am so sorry. I'm spelling this out for you. Depersonalization, derealization, and the guy that the guy that I was telling you about, that's twins, that looks just like one of my exes. He actually had this a long time ago too, and he has a channel talking about this. His channel is Cultivating Happiness. His name's Dave. Very, very, very nice guy. Not anything like my ex, thank goodness. But so I have been doing a lot of things to try to remain present and to try to combat that, to where I'm not allowing myself to dissociate anymore. But as a result, now I have extremely intense emotions sometimes. And I think in some cases it's like with losing my kids and stuff. There's a lot of grief and everything that will randomly come up now. I practice yoga and meditation every day now, and I prefer yoga than just actual meditation, because for me, meditating kind of causes me to feel floaty and a little detached, so I don't like that. But with the yoga, it feels like a physical meditation. It's like I'm having to move my body and stuff, and that makes me become more at one with my body and being able to be present in myself while also getting the same benefits of meditation. Well, good for you. I hope that that is going well for you. I wouldn't, it's not for me to share my opinion or anything, but I don't think that's probably the best thing for, I don't want to say soul because that sounds too religious, but for your overall health. But I also believe in people doing whatever they feel is right, as long as it's living your truth, as long as you're not, preferably not doing anything that's hurting anyone else. But even people that are doing things that are hurting other people, really, I mean, as long as that's actually who you really are, then that's who you should be and you should own it. I cannot stand people who say that they are one thing and then they show themselves to be a completely different person. Um, and so it's like, so either, I got to go, but thanks for the advice. Yes, have a good night. I'm sorry that I could not help you anymore. I hope that, thank you for the sub. We can always use more subscribers on this channel and more support. So thank you. I appreciate that. Um, and of course, I'm here for any other kind of psychological needs that you need, because I have been, um, I've studied psychology for like 15 years now. All right, everybody. So, let's see, it's 8 o'clock, but I got on here 20 minutes late because of the internet issues. Um, so anyway, and sometimes though, when you get in certain poses and postures, you'll feel like this emotional release. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good. So there's sometimes where it's like I'll just start crying. And sometimes it's a happy cry, sometimes it's a sad cry. Um and but it's like I feel it releasing from my body. So that is helping. But I still am having moments where I'm having fluctuations in my emotions to where they become more intense than what they're supposed to be, and I'm aware of this. I'm aware that they're more intense than what they're supposed to be. And so that's what I'm having to work on right now. So I think being in a long distance relationship is best for me right now because I don't think I have the emotional capacity to handle a relationship in person. For one, I tend to get very fixated on relationships, and romantic relationships, especially, seem to keep me from being able to focus on myself and the things that I really need to do in my life, like career and school, projects, different things like that. So, yeah, I think being in a long distance relationship is helping to keep me safe from accidentally getting with somebody in person here and then me wasting time on them. Um, and he's very young, but he's very sweet and understanding, and he knows where I'm at as far as that. I talk to him about this all the time because because of the way that I am and because of knowing where I'm at right now, where 90% of the time I'm not interested in any kind of romantic activity or relationship at all. But then there's a 10% of the time that I am, and it's very intense when I want that. It's like just suddenly just a soul crushing, I need somebody. And but the other 90% of the time it's like I could just completely live without it and I feel happiest on my own. And I've talked to him about these things and he's really understanding about that, and he supports me. Um and so, that's the main thing is we're friends first and foremost. And that's I feel like that's important for a relationship, but I can't really say what being in love is or isn't anymore because, like I said, in my experience, being in love is just toxic. It's unhealthy. It is a drug. It is the strongest drug I believe one can get a hold of. And, I mean, really all drugs are made in your brain. It's just some people use physical substances to activate those chemicals in the brain. And then you have some people like me who I don't need a substance to activate those chemicals. I just need to become obsessed about something. And, like I get addicted to people. And especially if I think that I'm in love with them. And so to me, I'm just, no, it's not worth it. Um, So if I'm going to be obsessed about something, I'm trying to make it something that's actually helpful and useful and helping me grow. And I keep myself in check. Um, I think a part of me has been afraid to become passionate or in love with anything, let alone anyone right now, because I'm afraid of being out of balance and becoming unhealthy and becoming addicted and going overboard on something or burning myself out entirely and then not being able to see it through. So that's something I'm dealing with right now. And hopefully, I'm trying to get out of that. I'm trying to allow myself to become passionate about things again and just knowing that my hair is just bothering me. I'm so sorry, but my hair is bothering me right now. It's just not even doing anything right now. I need to style my hair. It looked better earlier today. I don't know what happened. It's really windy here, so it must have just messed up my hair or something. So anyway, um, I guess I'm gonna go back to reading some comments. I'm surprised some people actually came on and talked in the chat for a minute. That was a little weird, but interesting. Also, just make sure nobody texted. Texted? Okay. All right, so no one else has wrote in. This is not the right channel. Neither is that. I'm sorry. I have several channels. Some of them are dead channels, and then there's two other ones that I work on. Here we go. Oh yeah, there's this comment that I wanted to. Here we go. Oh yeah, there's this. This not Monday Night Live's 8. This is number 9. I'll have to rename that. It says it's reconnecting. Oh no. I hope everything's fine. It said that we were having to reconnect. Okay, so somebody said, "You are a beautiful person, but your fake accent is so distracting from your intellect. You are bright, and once you get it going, it seems to once you get going, it seems to dissipate. Often I can't get that far. I believe in your case and sorry if I hurt you, but many may not sub for the same reasons." Um, I did reply to the person. I guess I could read the reply and then expand on that. I don't know if you guys are even interested in this, but I felt it was important to, I guess, address this because obviously, if one person is saying something about it, then that means some of you guys have probably wondered the same thing. Um, I do know every once in a while I have been told that I have an accent. I haven't ever heard it though. Not like before when I was younger. When I was a lot younger, my voice was a lot more active in um, changing accents and pitch and things like that. It was a lot more expressive than it is now. But I've actually tried to hide it. So this was the response that I wrote back. So I'm just going to read this to you guys. And then I may expand on that if I feel like I need to explain more. I don't have a fake accent, and I'm sorry if you or many others think that. My voice changes constantly, and I actually try to hide my accents because of something that I've tried to adopt to fix in with my town. My voice is very expressive and can be affected by different things such moods, or the people that I have been around or am currently speaking to. Or I will add people that I've been listening to a lot lately. So if I them a lot, then I will have more of that type of accent when I speak. Sometimes, like not even all the time, it just comes out sometimes. My voice was one of the reasons that CPS used to claim that I had multiple personalities because it changed a lot whenever I was around my kids, and they terminated my rights because of it. I know that you couldn't have known this, but so I don't blame you or anyone else for your perspective on my videos or voice. I appreciate you for watching the videos and for commenting about this, though, because it is something that I rarely address because I have tried so hard to hide the real me, my voices, especially on this channel. Now that you've commented, I realize that others can still hear my voices trying to come out and that I need to address it. So that's the last comment I'm going to read. I would like to uh, talk a little bit more about that because apparently, I don't know, like I said, this doesn't get asked a lot anymore, but I have had some people comment about this. Like, not actually like that, but have actually talked to me in person about this. Um, so, when I was younger, my voices were a lot more active, I guess. Um, I think that it may have been caused by a traumatic head injury, maybe, or it could have just been I don't know, um, maybe a certain way that brain, that my brain developed or something. I'm not sure. But I have had a lot of head injuries. And it does seem like it started when I was a teenager, um, after I had a lot of self-inflicted injuries, or I don't mean like self-inflicted, like I was trying to hurt myself, but I was in a lot of sports and had a lot of accidents because of that. And it's like it was never anything serious enough where I had to go to the hospital or even knew that I was hurt at the time. But I think that maybe because of like having repeated injuries, like such mild injuries that I didn't even know that I was injured, that it could have accumulated into something. Like you said, that happened with football players where they never even knew that they had a concussion, and then all of a sudden it turned out one day with their brain scan that they've actually had, maybe because of being in sports and stuff, that that could have caused it. I'm not exactly sure, but I do know it has caused me a lot of hardship in my life, and so I've actually tried to hide it. On one hand, I've had a lot of people, especially guys, who liked my. And then I started actually talking to some people in my own town, and I had some people, they're like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "You've seen me grow up. How do you not know where I'm from? I'm from here. Why are you asking me that just because my voice sounds different?" But it was like drastically different. Like, I mean, when I talked, you couldn't hear a Southern accent at all. And I noticed back then a lot of times when my moods would change, like when I would be sad, well, not really sad, but extremely tired, um, then the country accent would come out. If I was extremely happy or excited or anything like that, the British accent would come out. Sometimes if I was sad, but like not tired, but sad, then I would have a Spanish accent. And then if I was angry, and I mean like really mad, really angry, I had actually two different angry. There was the one angry where it's kinda like angry but indifferent, and that accent kinda sounded, I don't wanna get the accents wrong, as 'cause I'm not really sure, but like Russian, maybe German, something like that. Um, and then if I was extremely angry, then I started sounding black or subculture, Black America, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the correct politically correct term is for that, but yeah, so that was when I was a teenager. So my voice changed a lot, and then if I was talking to somebody a lot, then I would sound like them for a while, like for several days after talking to them. And I still have that happen sometimes. I've also noticed it can happen with even just watching people on TV. That if I've watched a certain type of accent or a certain person a lot, I'll start sounding like them. I remember last year when I went through a phase where I watched the YouTuber Jacksepticeye a lot, and he's Irish. You can tell, you can hear his Irish accent, even though it's very mild compared to what it was. You can still hear it. And next thing you know, someone asked me where I was from, and I'm like, "Oh, here we go again. They're gonna say I sound British because that's normally what everyone would say is I sounded British." Or sometimes they say I sounded and looked German. And so then they ended up, they asked me where I was from, and I'm like, "Well, I'm from here. I was born in South Carolina, but I've grown up in North Carolina." And they said, "Oh, really? You have an accent?" And I'm like, "Yeah, my dad's British." And you could tell they were like, "Mm." And I was like, "My mom is German Irish." And then they were like, "Oh, yeah." And they're like, "Yeah, that's where you get it from then." And they're like, "You sound Irish." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I've been listening to Jacksepticeye way too much then if I sound Irish." Um, since then, I've actually found out both sides of the family have a lot of Irish in them. But yeah, so I don't know if that influences it at all. I don't know how much DNA actually affects accent. You wouldn't think it would because accent should be from the dialect of your local area. Um, but with me, I think it's just that I think there's been accents that my subconscious has picked up on over time. And for whatever reason, whether it's based on how I'm feeling or whatever, I don't know. But for whatever reason, my voice will change. But I actually haven't noticed that in any of my videos. I haven't noticed any kind of accents. I don't know if you guys have, but if you have, then that is the reason. Well, I don't know if that's an actual reason. I don't know what the reason is, but I've actually tried very hard to hide it because, like I said, I got a couple of people in my local area. I've had a couple of relationships with local people, and they were very embarrassed by my accent. And so I did my best to try to hide my accent. The one person actually liked it at first, and then I don't know what happened. Then they started getting embarrassed about it, and they're like, and I would even see it because I would get like really excited about something, and then I would say something in a British accent, and not just British accent, but like a British pronunciation. So like British people, instead of saying process, they say process. And so the way I would enunciate my vowels even sounded different. And so I'd get really excited and it would come out and I would see them kind of cringe and like, and kind of like look at whoever it was we were talking to see if they picked up on it. And believe it or not, there was a couple of times that it's like, I don't know if the person actually picked up on it or if they just like subconsciously mirrored me back because all of a sudden their accent changed too. And they sounded like they copied my accent back and not on purpose. It was like just so natural that they got excited too. And then they sounded different. And he even pointed that out. And it's like, yeah, well, I'm not weird because of it. Um, so I don't know why it happens, but like I said, I've tried very hard to hide that about myself. And uh this year I've been trying a lot harder to just be my natural self. So maybe some of my accents are coming back. I'm not sure, but I haven't heard any. Um and I've noticed it's not even just accents though. Like a lot of people focus on accents because that's what stands out to them. But me, I've noticed that my voice changes, even like pitch or the way that I say things, the way I enunciate words or the pacing of my voice will even change sometimes. Like for example, I watch a show called The Good Place, and there's a guy on there called Jason. He's an Asian guy, and he talks like this, and I don't think he really means to, but he's kind of a dumb character. And then sometimes when I'm unsure of myself, I find myself talking in the same way, so I don't know why that happens. That was a very bad example, but I don't know why that happens, but it's something that happens sometimes where I just and it has nothing to do with different personalities. It's just like different moods, or maybe I have a lot of energy, or maybe I don't have a lot of energy. Um, I'm not really sure what causes it, but I wanted to address it in case any of you guys noticed it. Um, so I just want you guys to know it's not, if it happens, it's not anything that I'm putting on. Like, I'm not trying to project a certain image. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm not trying to look a certain way or sound a certain way. I'm just trying to be me. And so please just allow me the freedom to be myself. Um, and, I mean, if it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. But I'm trying extremely hard to be myself and to stop hiding those things about myself just because they were things that I was made fun of before when I was younger, or that an organization like CPS used something like that to make false claims about me. And I'm trying to overcome those fears and trying to be myself more. Um, I have a very expressive voice and a very playful personality. And most of the time when I'm in front of the camera, that doesn't come out. And I'm trying really hard to relax in front of you guys. So I I hope that that answered your question. And I hope that you guys understand and know a little bit more about me now, and know that it's not anything I'm putting on. And so if that puts you off, I'm sorry. Um, but it's not put on. And you can believe it or not believe it, but that's the truth. And so please just allow me to have the freedom to be myself on this channel, and, accept me for my quirky differences. And just know that it's just me. It's just the way that I am. And, I hope that you guys will support the cause, in spite of what you may or may not think about me personally. But anyway, that's going to be it tonight, guys. It's been an hour. I try to keep these things about an hour long. I actually wasn't even planning on uh, filming for this long, but we actually did get some comments in the chat, and I wanted to address those. And then I did want to address the accent thing before I got off of the air tonight. So, anyway, you guys, I hope that you had a good Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, whatever you've been getting into. And I hope that you guys have a good night, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.